Good afternoon to all of you. In today's lecture, we'll discuss constitutional amendment. Constitutional amendment is a very important topic as per the exam is concerned. Every year, we'll find the question on the constitutional amendment. So, I request all you to pay attention and try to understand what do you mean by constitutional amendment, what is the meaning of the constitutional amendments, what are the provisions regarding the constitutional amendments, power of the parliament regarding constitutional amendments. We'll focus all this point in this lecture, in today's lecture. So let's begin with the constitution amendment. These are important points as per the amendment procedure is considered introduction, meaning of the amendments, constitutional amendment provision in India, amending power of the parliament, what is the 24 constitutional amendment, and some landmark cases regarding the constitutional amendment. Then we'll discuss emer- emergency of basic structure doctrine. These all points I will cover in today's lecture. In today's lecture, first, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Supreme law of the land. All laws' validity is challenged on the Constitution. Any law in Constitution with the Constitution, then that law is void. That law is. But next question arises whether constitutional amendment is inconsistent with the constitution, original constitution, original constitution. Then whether it amendment is the constitutional, whether that constitutional amendment is right. In this lecture, you will find the solution in this lecture. The constitution maker has included the provision uh, in the article 368 regarding the to amend the constitution. To amend the constitution, Jawaharlal Nehru said that this is a beautiful constitution. We want it to be permanent, but but in constitution there is a general will of the people, and general will of the people is always changing according to circumstances, modern situation. So they have, even they wanted to be permanent, they cannot keep as a permanent. They have included the provision regarding the constitution amendments. In constitution amendment, you can amend the constitution by three ways. Parliament can amend the constitution by three ways. The three type of amendment procedure we will find in the constitution. Before that, we will discuss what do you mean by constitution, what do you mean by amendment. Sorry, what do you mean by amendments? As per the Oxford Dictionary, amendment means changes made to legislation for the purpose of adding to or correcting or modifying the operation of the legislation. The meaning of the amendment is also given in the Keswanand Bharati's case. The broader view of the amendment is expressed in the Keswanand Bharati's yes, Keswanand Bharati's case. Amendment means include any alteration or change to improve or remove an error. This is the meaning of amendment expressed in the Keswanand Bharati's case. Next point we will discuss now, Constitutional Amendment India. I already discussed in class three type of amendment procedure is given in the Constitution. Which are they? Which are they? Amendment by simple majority first. Second, amendment by special majority. Third, amendment by special majority plus by half of the state legislature ratification. By these three methods, Constitution can be amended. By these three methods, Constitution can be amended. We'll discuss one by one what is simple majority, what is special majority, what is special majority, and ratification by the half of the state legislature. Parliament can amend the Constitution by simple majority. Which provision of the constitution can be amended by simple majority? Majority. Article 4. What is Article 4? Article 4 of the constitution deals with the creation of the new state. If the parliament want to create a new state, then parliament can create a new state by by adopting simple majority procedure. If parliament want to alter the size of the state, then parliament can alter the size of the state. Parliament can amend the constitution by simple majority. Then parliament want to add any qualification to become the citizenship, then again the simple majority is required. Simple majority. The next provision of the constitution by simple majority can be amended, that is 169. Creation or abolition of upper chamber in the state. Parliament can create or abolish upper chamber in the state as per Article 169. What is upper chamber in the state? Upper chamber means state legislative council. How many states we have upper chambers in India? There are only 6 states has a upper chamber, which they are Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Karnataka. In this state you will find bicameralism, bicameralism system. म्हणजे टू हाऊस सेम प्रोसिजर, जसं पार्लिमेंट आहे लोकसभा आणि राज्यसभा, सेम प्रोसिजर तुम्हाला स्टेट लेवललाही सापडेल. विधानसभा आणि विधान परिषद त्या केसेस. एखादा राज्यामध्ये अप्पर हाऊस क्रिएट करू शकतं किंवा एखादा राज्याचं abolish करू शकतं by simple majority. Parliament has power. By simple majority parliament can do that. This is a simple majority provisions. By simple majority parliament can amend the constitution. Then we will discuss the next amendment procedure, that is amendment by special majority. Most of the provision of the Indian constitution is amended by special majority. What is special majority? Special majority means 2/3 member of the house present and voting. If you analyze the constitution, if you read the constitution, which provision can be amended by special majority, there is no specifically mentioned, but remaining all provision excluding simple majority and special majority and ratification, all provision is amended by special majority in the constitution. If you read article 368 clause 2, constitution, parliament has a power to amend the constitution by special majority, and most of the provision of the constitution is amended by the special majority methods. Next, third category of the amendment is amendment by special majority and ratification by at least one of the half state legislature. If parliament want to amend the constitution, some of the provision of the constitution, then parliament can amend that provision only if half of the state legislature ratify it. In India there are 28 states. Half of the state legislature must ratify the amendment. If the parliament want to change any provision regarding article 368, what is article 368? Amendment procedure of the constitution. If parliament want to change this provision, then special majority plus half of the state legislature permission is required in this case. If parliament want to change the provision, want to amend the provision, election of the president, article 54 and 54, then special majority plus half of the state legislature permission is required in this case also. The next provision regarding Supreme Court, provision regarding High Court, executive power, all these provisions require the special majority and plus ratification by at least one half of the state legislature. There are 28 states in India. 14 states has to ratify. if Parliament pass any amendment bill regarding this provision, amendment bills, then it should be passed by the 14 state. 14 state. In India, there are 8 union territories, but Union territory have no say in amending procedure. Amending procedure. Next, we'll move to the next point. If you read the constitution, you'll find two provisions in Article 368. Two categories: special majority and special majority plus half of the state legislature must ratify it. Ratification is required. Simple majority is not there. Parliament can amend the constitution without invoking Article 368 of the constitution. Parliament can amend constitution by simple majority without invoking Article 368. This is the provision. Parliament's bill can be presented either house of the parliament. As per the Article 368 clause 2, Parliament's bill can be presented either house of the parliament. President shall assent to that bills and it will stand as a amendment of the constitution. Next point we'll discuss in this lecture, that is amending power of the parliament. Judicial review, judicial perspective in this. What is the judicial perspective? Shankari Prasad versus Union of India. This is a landmark case. In this case, first constitution amendment was challenged. Before this, we'll focus other case law, that is Kameshwar Singh versus State of Bihar 1950s. In this case, Supreme Court has struck down land reform laws. Land reform law. Why Supreme Court has struck down the land reform laws? Because it was violating the fundamental rights. In this case, Supreme Court held that Parliament has no power to amend the Constitution. Article 13 clause 2 deals with the power. Parliament cannot take away fundamental rights. Parliament cannot make a law which will take away fundamental rights. As per, and Supreme Court has struck down the many land reform legislation, but hence the parliament has amended the constitution. By first constitutional amendment, they have introduced three provision in the constitution, that is Article 331A, Article 31B, and 9 schedule. By first constitution, they have added three provision: Article 31A, 31B, and 9 schedule to the constitution. So what is Article 31A? Article 31A deals with the land reform laws and acquisition of the properties. So the laws which are dealing with land reform and acquisition of the property, their validity cannot be challenged in Supreme Court and High Court. That is Article 31A deals. Article 31B deals with Article 31B give a blanket protection to the 9th schedule. All laws put in the 9th schedule are immune from the constitutional immunity. They are immune from the judicial review. Their constitutional validity cannot be challenged in the court of law. And 9th schedule and third amendment is the 9th schedule is amended. Now 9th schedule is included. Originally there was 8th schedule, 9th schedule is added by first constitutional amendment. These three provision is introduced by first constitutional amendment, and these were challenged in Shankari Prasad versus Union of India. In this case, petitioner argued that Article 13 prohibits the enactment of law. Any law which infringes the fundamental rights, Parliament has no power to make such a law. As per in this case, petitioner argued, but Supreme Court rejected the argument and held that there is a clear distinction between amending power and general legislative power. Article 13 of the Constitution. Article 13 of the Constitution deals with the general legislative power. Article 368 deals with the amending power of the constitution. So there is a clear distinction between general legislative power and constitutional amendment powers. Hence, constitutional amendment does not fall under Article 13 of the constitution. Article 13 does not include the amendment of the constitution. The Supreme Court come to the conclusion. Supreme Court also held in this case that Parliament can amend all provision of the constitution including the fundamental rights. या केसमध्ये सुप्रीम कोर्टने हेल्ड केलं there is a distinction between there is a distinction between legislative power and amending power of the constitution. Parliament has unlimited power. It means Parliament has unlimited power. Parliament can amend any provision of the constitution including the fundamental rights. Next case we will discuss, that is Sajjan Singh versus State of Rajasthan. In this case, 17th Constitutional Amendment was challenged. By 17th Constitutional Amendment, new law were put in the 9 schedules, and their validity was challenged in Sajjan Singh versus State of Rajasthan. Supreme Court adopted the same view which was adopted in Shankari Prasad versus Union of India, and held Parliament has power to amend the Constitution. Next landmark judgment regarding the power of amendment of the Constitution, that is Golaknath versus State of Punjab, AR 1967. In this case, Justice Subbarao has given a different view. Supreme Court in this case overruled Sajjan Singh case and Shankari Prasad case. In this case, Supreme Court in this case come to the conclusion that Article 368 of the Constitution merely deals with the procedure of the Constitution. Article 368 of the Constitution merely deals with the procedure regarding amendment of the Constitution. There is no provision regarding the power to amend the Constitution. There is a difference between procedure and power. In this case, Supreme Court come to the conclusion Parliament does not have power to amend the Constitution. There is no substantive power given by the Constitution to amend the Constitution. And this case created difficulties. From this case, problems start, and Parliament has reacted to this judgment. Parliament has reacted to this judgment, and Parliament has nullified Golaknath case by introducing 24 Constitutional Amendment. What is 24 Constitutional Amendment? 24 Constitutional Amendment which was introduced in 1971, which introduced Article 13 Clause 4. Article 13 Clause 4. What is Article 13? We have already discussed Article 13 of the Constitution. Article 13 Clause 1 deals with the pre-constitutional law. Article 13 Clause 2 deals with the post-constitutional law. Article 13 Clause 3 deals with the definition of law. What is the definition of law? Custom, regulations, laws, rules, notification, gazette, all come within the definition of law. These are the three provisions were there in the original Constitution. By 24 Constitutional Amendment, they have added Article 13 Clause 4. What is Article 13 Clause 4? Nothing in this article shall apply to any amendment of this Constitution made under Article 368. As per the Constitution, any amendment made by the Parliament by invoking Article 368, then by invoking Article 368, Article 13 will not be applicable. It means by this amendment, Parliament has introduced new provision. Parliament has power to amend the Constitution. In Keswanand Bharati, Supreme Court held that, in Golaknath case, Supreme Court held that Parliament does not have power to amend the Constitution. But by this amendment, they have added power word in Article 368. They have changed the heading of the Article 368 and added the word power in Article 368 and held that has introduced new word, and Parliament has power to amend the Constitution. Then we'll move to the next info point. That is next case Swanand Bharati versus State of Kerala. In this case, three amendments were challenged: 24 Constitutional Amendment, 25th Constitutional Amendment, and 29th Constitutional Amendment. All these amendment expanded the ninth schedule. New laws were put in the ninth schedule. All these laws validity challenge in case Swanand Bharati versus State of Kerala. Nine, 13 judges bench heard this case and overruled the Golaknath versus State of Punjab case. What was held in the Golaknath state case? Supreme Court held that Parliament does not have power to amend the Constitution. By 24 Constitutional Amendment, Parliament nullified the Golaknath case, and Golak 24 and 25 and 29, all these amendments were challenged in case Swanand Bharati's case. Majority of judges did not agree with the case Golaknath case and come to the conclusion that Parliament has power to amend the Constitution, but Parliament can amend the Constitution including the fundamental right, but cannot cannot amend basic structure doctrine. New doctrine was introduced by the judiciary. You will not find this doctrine in Constitution Assembly. There is no indication of this kind of doctrine is there. Judiciary has introduced this doctrine. Why judiciary has introduced? Because Constitution has given power to the Supreme Court to protect the Constitution. Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Constitution is the supreme law, and it is duty of the judiciary to protect the Constitution. And Constitution has evolved this new doctrine to protect the Constitution. Parliament can amend the Constitution, but basic structure cannot be amended. It means Parliament has a limited power. Parliament can take away fundamental rights as long as it did not violate the basic structure. This is a basic structure doctrine is the outcome of the judicial by the judiciary. This is one of the most powerful weapon in the hand of the judiciary. So, in what constitutes basic structure? What constitutes a basic structure? As per civil justice, supremacy of the Constitution is a basic structure. Republican and democratic form of the government is a basic structures part. Secular character of the Constitution is a basic structures part. Separation of power also part of the basic structure. Federal character. All these points I have already discussed. What is the supremacy of the Constitution, republic, and democratic form of the government, secular character of the Constitution. All these points I have already discussed in previous class. As per the Hegde's and Mukherjee's sovereignty of India is a basic structure. Democratic character is a basic structure. Unity of our country is a basic structure. Then individual freedom of citizen is a basic structure. Welfare state is a basic structure. All these are the basic part of the basic structure. Parliament cannot amend this feature of the Constitution. These are the part of the basic structure. Then we'll move to the next point, that is landmark cases after basic structure. These are the landmark cases on Constitution amendment. Indira Nehru Gandhi versus Raj Narayan 1975. Minerva Mill versus Union of India. Vaman Rao versus Union of India. S.R. Bommai versus Union of India. Chandra Kumar versus Union of India. I.R. Coelho versus State of Tamil Nadu. Indira Gandhi versus Raj Narayan case. In this case, Allahabad High Court had invalidated election of Indira Gandhi on the ground of corrupt practice. या केसमध्ये सुप्रीम कोर्टने इंदिरा गांधीचं इलेक्शन स्ट्रक डाउन करून टाकलं होतं. She approached to the Supreme Court and meanwhile she amended the Constitution. By amendment, she tried to take away the judicial power of the Supreme Court and High Court. By 39 constitutional amendments, he introduced that amendment election of the president, election of the prime minister, election of vice president, election of the speaker cannot be challenged in Supreme Court and High Court. Supreme Court struck down this amendment. 39th constitutional amendment is struck down by the Supreme Court. Fair and free and fair election is a part of the judicial review. Free and fair election is a part of basic structure. Supreme Court held in this landmark case that free and fair election is a part of the basic structure. Parliament cannot amend. Parliament cannot take a judicial review. Hence, 39 constitutional amendment is a unconstitutional amendment. Minora Mills versus Union of India 1980. In this case, 42nd amendment was challenged. Clause 4 and clause 5 of the Article 368 were challenged in this case. Supreme Court in this case struck down both clause. Supreme Court has held in this case that fundamental rights and directive principle are supplementary and complementary to each other. Harmony between the fundamental rights and directive principle is a basic feature of the Constitution. By 42nd Constitutional Amendment, Parliament tried to directive principle will prevail over the fundamental rights. By 42nd Constitutional Amendment, Parliament tried to introduce new provision by which directive principle will prevail over the fundamental rights. This kind of provision was introduced by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment. The Supreme Court held that both fundamental right and directive principle are supplementary and complementary, and this complementary to each other. Such a harmony between the fundamental right and directive principle is a basic feature of the Constitution. Hence, for clause 4 and clause 5 of the Article 368 declare unconstitutional. Next landmark is Vaman Rao versus Union of India. In this case, Supreme Court held that all laws which are introduced by the Parliament until Keswanan decision were valid. All laws which will be introduced in 9th schedule after Keswanan Bharti's, their validity can be challenged in court of law. It means Keswanand Bharti decision was delivered on 23rd April 1973. The law which are passed after 24th April 1973, their validity can be challenged. Next, S.R. Bommai versus of India 1994. This is a landmark case law. We will discuss in detail in next semester. Now, in this case, Supreme Court held that federalism, democracy, and secularism are the basic feature of the Constitution. Chandra Kumar versus of India. In this case, also Supreme Court come to the conclusion judicial review is a basic feature of the Constitution. Next, again, same review is adopted in this case. I.R. Coelho versus State of Tamil Nadu 2007. All laws which are introduced by Parliament after Keswanan Bharti's, their validity can be challenged. They are not immune from the judicial review. The same review was adopted in Vaman Rao versus Union of India. Again, same view adopted in this case. Then we come to the conclusion. Whatever be procedure to amend the Constitution, rigid or flexible. All constitutions should provide amendment procedure, rigid or flexible. The Constitution should not give absolute power to amend the constitution to the parliament. Absolute power corrupt absolutely. Hence, parliament should have a limited power. There should be some kind of basic. There should be some kind of limitation on parliament's power. In India, basic structure is a limitation on parliament's power. Today, Parliament cannot divide India into two parts because federalism is a part of the basic structure. Today, Parliament cannot declare Hindu Rashtra because secularism is a part of the basic structure. Parliament cannot change the democratic form of the government because democracy is a part of the basic feature of the constitution. So Parliament has a limited power. We hope you have understood the significance of having amendment procedure in the constitution. I also hope you have understood the tussle between judiciary and parliament. We will stop here. Thank you.